Hello friends, hello student. Today I will discuss the lesson outcome of the democracy from the political science in civics. So in the first I will discuss why the democracy is better than its alternative. Number one, it promotes the equality among the citizens. Second, it enhances the dignity of the individual. It improves the quality of decision making process. It provides method to resolve conflict, allows room to correct mistakes. These are the features which make democracies better than its alternative. Alternative means dictatorships or any other form of the government. Okay, now there is a assessment of the democracy's outcomes. So let's we see. There are three assessment process of the democracy's outcome. Number one is political outcomes, economic outcomes, and social outcomes. In the political outcomes, where we will prove the political outcomes through the accountable government, responsible government, and next one is legitimate government. Accountable government and responsible government and legitimate government, these are the three features. Why it is called a accountable government? Because where the people have the right to choose the representative or their own government. Second thing, say democracy produce a mechanism for the transparencies, and where the people can just judge their government why the government is not functioning well, and many of the other questions. Next, why it is called the accountable government? Because democracy is only the government which organize the regular free fair elections. Only this is the features which make as a very important form of the government. Democracy is also a form of government where the people can use the RTI as a power or as a strength in the democracies. Means RTI is a type of we'll say means of communications or the weapons which people can uses to get the various kind of the information which they are expecting from the government. Some these features which make or produces a contradictions because democracy is not a very perfect form of the government, not a very ideal form of the government. So what are the contradictions? It is less efficient government. Why it is a less efficient government? Because it is not functioning for all kind of the people in the society, and this does not give the equal treatment for all the people of the country. Second things, democracy has been found that it takes some delay when it reach at that decision. So now we will just check it, or we can reach all the justifications why these statement which are saying as a blameful sentences for the democracy. So we will clear it out. Number one, democracy think about a majoritarian opinion. Majority opinion means a democracy always works for the majority of the people of the country. Okay, na? And this majority, where the people enjoy this majority for a point of times, and every people have the chance to just entertain themselves in the form of majority in the form of government for a point of some times. Second things, delays which are has been seen in the democracies. Why these delays are occurring in the democracy? Because these delays have been caused due to the negotiations and deliberations. Only the negotiation and deliberations has been seen in the democracies, and mostly the non-democratic rulers have no need to bother for these deliberation and negotiation. When these negotiation and deliberation has been occurring in the democracies, obviously the time which has been taken and time which has been taken has its own value and worth, and the time which has been taken for a long process where the all kind of the people are benefited means time which has been taken, obviously the times which has been taken which is used in the form of investment for the all kind of the people, and in such way when this is a bigger investment of the times where all kind of the people are benefited by the different type of the government policies, different type of the government program which has been taken by the government. Okay, now this is the first feature, and second, a responsible government or responsive government. Why you can say that it is a responsible government? Because it take care about the public opinion. Means it just think about it, just you say consider about the people opinions. Second thing, it is very attentive to needs and demand of the people. Means it always apply the policies in the form of welfare program for the people, and always just think and consider about the need and demand of the people. It always found that it just fulfill all kind of these problems. Okay na? Next, the democracies which has been seen that it is free from corruptions, and it also has been seen that it is very sensitive form of government. Where, so these are some things which make it a very attractive form of the government in the form of responsive or responsible. Some contradiction has been seen that a government, democracy government has not a good record. Good record means there are some mixed record where the democracy is not a very efficient form of the government, not very effective form of the government. Why you can say that the democracy is not very effective form of the government? Because the reason is that the democracy is not very found successfully to share the informations regarding their work to the people of the country. Mostly, some time has been seen that in some countries where the democracies has been found that they are hiding some information from the public. If we just check it we can reach on the justification, so we can see that there is a greater success of the democracy to setting the regular election. That is a big success of the democracies, because any form of the government has been found that they are not very successful to setting up the regular election for a long time. There are some exception can be seen in our country also, in some other country also, where the 1 or 2 times the election has been not organized well. Next, why we can say that democracy produces a legitimate government? So we can see that democracy is a legitimate government because it is the people's own government, and people also participate in the decision making process, either in the form of candidate, either in the form of voter. If they are just participating in the form of candidate, they can reach in the form of government, and they can make the decision. Democracy, why it is called a legitimate government? Because it generated on support. Why the democracy generated on support? Because democracy remain as a democracy because it is democracy. Means a democracy is only the form of government where the peoples can declare that they have only the form of government in the whole world, the democracy where they can do all the functions by involving in the government. So any other form of the government where the people have no any chance to involve in the all kind of the process from top to bottom process. And democracy give them chance or give them some avenues where the people take participation. Not only the participation, they can be the effective tool for the democracy. They can participate in a different mode of the government. Okay na? Contradiction, people become frustrated about some things. And what are something? When the people found themselves that their demands and needs are not fulfilling, their demand and needs are not fulfilling, so they started to frustrate and they started to blame also. And when they blame also, so at the same time they ignore the democracy. Okay na? And second thing, there is the routine tales about the corruptions is the very bigger, we will say bigger range in the most of the democracies in the world, especially in the South Asian countries where the corruption is not stopping. But if we reach at the justification, so we can found that people's own government, democracy is the people's own government, and there is greater success in Asia also, South Asia also, where the people had widely accepted the form of government as a democracy, and they had a you say boycotted, or they had rejected all kind of the government except the democracies. Whatever there was the authoritarian government, monarchy, dictatorships, whatever any form of the government they had rejected, except the democracy they have accepted. So this is the political outcome. Now the economic outcomes. In the first, we will see the growth, the economic growth. What we found there, that democracy is a slow and seek to welfare for the people. Means democracy is slow, but it seek the welfare for the people. Means it always work for the promotion of the people's standard. Now the contradictions, democracy, which is also not free from the you say symptoms as we find in the dictatorship. Dictatorships is higher. Uh, you'll say dictatorship where there is higher standard for the economic growth and development. Democracy is a enable, means democracy we have found that democracy is not very suitable in the growth of economic area. And if we just take it, so what we find there, several other positivity democracy has. Democracy has a other several positivity which make it a very different form of government. It means the dictatorships cannot achieve other objectives such as the welfare for the people, such as the regular elections, such as the policy and program for the people of the society, such as the reservation, such as many things. Okay, now we will see the development, political economic development. So there are four factors which maintain the success range of the democracy. So these are the size of population, the global situations, the economic priorities taken by the government, and different type of the countries which are giving their cooperation to the democratic country. So these are the four factors. If they are in very, you will say, certain mode or very average mode, so democratic country can work well and they can achieve their success also. Contradiction, no guarantee of a higher development. It has been seen and it has been considered that a democracy has not very good record for the higher development. Even sometimes dictatorships has been recorded that they have the higher growth and higher development. Justification, democracy has a lot of other positivity except the economic growth. So only the one thing which is not be acquiring in the democracies, we cannot reject it because we have the good other positivity. So we have a lot of good reason to survive with the democracy. And next one is reduction in inequality and poverty. So democracy also has been seen that it ensures just distribution. Just distribution means it provide the equalities among the all people of the countries. So it try to get the good effort to distribute all kind of the resources among the people, and it reduce the economic disparities. Democracy, because it work well continuously, and many of the other things. Contradictions where we can see that a democracy uh, growing inequalities among the people, not a successful eliminate poverty. Means very successfully it is, does not remove the poverty in the country. But we can find that democracy where the ultra rich and ultra poor are living there, but democracy has been seen in very good uh, you'll say environment because it systematically work for the promotion to remove the poverty, to remove the inequalities in the country, and it slightly work with the different type of the promotional work and policies which work for the betterment of the people's life. So this is the area where the democracy is appeared very successfully. Now the next outcome is social outcomes. Two ways to achieve the democratic outcomes in the social front. Majority need work with the minority. Means a majority, if it work with the minorities, obviously it will get the good advantage. Otherwise, we can see the situation in Sri Lanka, where the Sri Lanka have to pay the big cost for it, if, because they were not working with the minorities. So it is very you will say positive feature of the democracy, that majority always work with the minority, so obviously they will get the good advantage. Otherwise majority does not ruin the minority, but also they ruin themselves. Next, every citizen has a chance of being majority at some point of time. Every citizen has a chance to being as a part of majority for point of time means in a democracy where the people are becoming the part of some political parties, and these political party become the majority party as a form of in the form of a ruling party, and those party which are not successfully to prove their majorities after some times or after 5 years, if the ruling party does not work well, obviously the minority party get the chance to prove their majority, and those people who work who were being with the minority groups, now they have the chance to become the majority groups. Okay, na? So every people have a chance to just work with the majority, but they have the chance only for point of time. Next, accommodation of social diversities. How does a you can say that a democracy maintain the good accommodation for social diversity, because it maintain the peaceful and harmonious life for all people of the country. It develop a procedure to reduce tension, and it also provide privilege and reservation for all kind of the people, because democracy is the better form of the government, and we have seen if the majority do not work with the minorities, obviously the majority have to pay the cost for it, and the country will also ruined, as we have seen, or as we have learned the lesson from the Sri Lanka, and we have learned also the same lesson from the Belgium. So what we have found there, majority become a good form of the government, because they are working with the minorities. Minority and majority are the two uh, unstable flank of the democracy. They are not very permanent. Democracy is a dignity. Democracy also produces a dignity and freedom for the citizen. Means there is some dignity and some freedom for the citizen. How can you say that it stand for the superior government, ensure the dignities and ingredients, equal treatment and respect? Means democracy always work for the promotion of dignity of the people, especially for the women, especially for the lower caste of the people, especially for the Dalit, especially for the people who are disabled. And now we have seen that Pradhan Mantri Modi ji have given the word for those people who are not very perfect in their body physical fitness. So this is the word Divya. Okay, na? So this type of the ornaments has been given by the government time to time, so that to promote not only their dignity but also to promote their confidence level in the democracy. Because any other form of the government where this type of the title has not been given or awarded to for the people. Okay, na? So democracy is ensuring the dignity, but democracy is not giving the guarantee. So please keep this thing in the mind. Democracy always ensure all kind of the dignity, all kind of the freedom for the people. ठीक है ना? And in such a way in the constitution where the different articles has been also proving it. So student, hope you enjoyed this video lecture, and all kind of the problems I have tried to clear it. If any kind of the doubt, you can ask. Thank you to listen me.